What's up, everybody? Welcome to the year-end review for Variable 2013. This is my main man, Zach Lamotte, aka Dr. Luigi. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
Oh, you know me.
I do.
You know me.
I know
Rockin'
him.
and rolling.
I know him.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about our top 3 games of 2013. And what that means is we're kind of going to give 2 runner-ups. We don't necessarily have to be 2 and 3. You can just kind of say, like, here's my 2 runner-ups, and I have 1 main winner at the end, and we'll kind of have a discussion into why we feel that way.
That sounds too complicated. Let's just keep it simple.
You just go lay down.
It's
and
top 3. That's it. If you don't order them first, second, third, I'm going to lose it.
We should have really had a discussion before we started taping.
I disagree. I think this is going very well.
Oh, boy. Okay. So, right off the top, you want to go first or you want me to go first?
I want you to go first, please.
Okay. So this one might be a little bit of a surprise. So, one of my runner-ups is...
For first?
No,
We're
no.
doing third first?
No. This is.
You've already explained this, haven't you?
That's correct.
I wasn't listening.
Yeah. You just like I said. Whew.
It's okay.
Let me just shake it off here.
We're like this all the time.
Nice suit.
Thank you very much. I have no comment about your suit.
You tied your tie very tight.
Thanks. I did a half Windsor.
You did. Okay, so my first runner-up is Guacamelee for the PlayStation 3 / Vita.
Holy guacamole!
Yeah, that's correct. And then it got ported over to the PC. So this game was it actually was developed here in Ontario, Canada. By Drinkbox Studios, and they made kind of like a Metroidvania style game where you gain power slowly, and you're able to, now that I have the super punch, now I can break the blue bricks, and I can find this heart piece, and
right.
It's kind of like like Samus gets rolls into a ball and drops
Right.
her stupid
Drops their stupid bombs.
and then you can blow up the floor and get your next missile or whatever. So in that vein, I just felt like the game was like full of humor. Stop cleaning my table.
I'm sorry. It's a problem.
Focus.
I didn't play that one.
Right. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to explain. The idea.
Right.
It's like you're a luchador and you die at the beginning and you get a luchador mask. Or actually, you're not a luchador. You're a guave farmer.
Right.
And then you become a luchador. So it's that old chestnut. And,
Luchador, is that a wrestler in Mexico?
in old Mexico, you're a luchador, and you have to save El Presidente's daughter. That's actually the
For
plot.
real?
That's
Okay.
actually like it. It's really humorous game. It's really fun, and
Cool.
it is easily for this year. It was my favorite platinum as well. I did it on Vita. And
Platinum trophy?
Yeah, absolutely.
Whatever.
Yeah, I know. It's okay, buddy. You're catching up.
I'm catching up.
Get that one.
I'm catching up a little bit slower than how you're progressing in trophies.
That's to be expected, though.
Do I have a platinum? I platinumed something.
You platinumed
All Stars.
Yeah, Smash Brothers.
That's
PlayStation.
my favorite game, just so I could talk about my platinum.
PlayStation. That was last year, you stupid.
Oh yeah, shit. But
Anyway.
I played it in 2013.
Oh.
I platinumed it.
Okay, so just freeze frame for editing.
And go.
Okay, beautiful. So for me, it was just like this style, and like the game kind of really charmed me, and it was very challenging. The graphic style was very like simplistic, but it was nice for like a downloadable title. It was only like $15 when it came out, and I thought it was great. So that's one of my runner-ups for
Cool.
2013. So I'll pass it over to you to.
Okay. Well, my runner-up, 2013, would be BioShock Infinite.
A respectable choice. I think BioShock was great.
I thought it was really cool. Unfortunately, my favorite game came out shortly after that, so
Right,
I
out.
just kind of forgot about
Totally.
it.
Well, I think like here's my beef with BioShock Infinite. So I think that world of BioShock is like so interesting. That like when you get to Columbia and you see like when you come up through the lighthouse rocket or whatever, and you see it for the first time, and you're meeting these characters, and you can tell it's like it's grounded in a very powerful reality. But at the end of the day, when it came down to like that part's like the great part, but the part that like drags it down for me is the shooting. Like at the end, these very profound ideas, but then you get shoot the guy, shoot him with the electric bolt, pick him up with the bucking bronco, and then shoot him with the machine gun. So the gameplay is the part that drags that game down for me, which is strange.
Right.
You use the stupid sky rails to jump around, and it's
Right.
it's hyper realistic, story, and that it just didn't cut it for me. It was like I said, the characters like Elizabeth and Booker, they're like great characters, but in the world again, like of Colombia, I'm sick of just shooting all the time, which is weird. Because my favorite game coming up is going to be a shooter, but it felt like there was more on the line. This one felt like it wasn't tight shooting. It felt, I don't know, the guns felt like they had like no impact. So I know I'm just ragging on your choice, but
no, that's okay. I really liked like atmospherically. I was really, and I guess I really liked BioShock 1 so much that I really had high expectations, especially because it was getting a lot of hype. Like, I didn't want anyone to tell me about it. I wanted to know nothing about this game. And then I had played it, and my expectations were really high. So the beginning kind of threw me off. But as soon as you went to the church and then the guy baptized you, I was like, oh my God. And at that point, there was no shooting or anything yet. And then you start going through Colombia, and like that part when the barbershop like quintet or whatever comes up and is playing God Only Knows by the Beach Boys. I was like, oh my God.
That's what I mean. The atmosphere is brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. And, like when everything went dark, like it was, I knew that it was kind of like this really long intro with the beautiful Colombia to really kind of contrast to sort of give power to or emphasize the evil or darkness of when everything goes to shit in Colombia. But I don't know, when everything went to shit, it didn't have as much of an impact as I thought it would. Right. Until you kind of see, like when Elizabeth's there and then you see the background in New York or whatever is falling apart. Right. That to me was like really fucking wild. No,
I agree.
But overall, when it went to shit, and I guess like that the repetitive gameplay just kind of took me out of the atmosphere. Like I would almost have preferred to just play a story game with like minimal shooting and just lots more of Colombia and the story itself.
Totally.
But still, like really something I've never experienced. It was really cool for me.
Totally. No, I 100%. So I'm gonna move on and then mention my second runner-up before we get to variable game of the year. My runner-up is your tie. The way you tied your tie is my second runner-up. I think you did a really brilliant job this evening.
Thank you very much.
Hey, no problem.
I put some work into it.
I thought the graphics were excellent.
You also showed me how to do it.
That's why it's my number 2, baby. My real number deuce is Gone Home, which we both played quite at the end of the year, I guess. I know it came out towards the end of the year, but we didn't get into it until December, and it just caught me by surprise. I played one sitting, like I think most people did. It's only like maybe like 2-hour game, 2.5 hours or so.
Right.
And it just caught me by surprise. The idea you just mentioned from BioShock is that you'd have liked to have explored Colombia, in the shooting parts, like the parts that we could have omit and would be just fine.
Right.
And that's something like I feel like Gone Home does really well. Like we're mechanically in regards to the gameplay, it's just walking around the house and whatever. But the atmosphere in that game again was just, I think, brilliant. For me, I played by myself, sitting in the dark, and for a game that doesn't have any like enemies or anything or ghosts, I was so scared.
Right. Yeah.
And
me too.
We haven't discussed this game at all yet because we've been kind of holding out. Is when were you as scared as I was when you went to the basement for the first time?
Oh yeah, that creepy fucking like secret door.
No, it's where you go right into the basement. You get the basement key and you go in. And
I went in a different way. I went in, like, I was able to get the key, but I didn't do it. I did the little secret door, and then you come out of this other way, and then I ended up going up the opposite way.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Oh, I went in through, like, I got the key for the basement, and then...
So you came out of the secret trap door that was in the or not the library, it was attached to the library from the basement.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
That's the way I came out.
Wow. Yeah, I went down that way, so I thought for sure it's like that classic, like, you know, undertones of paranormal activity and, you know, all these things you read that kind of scare you. And then all of a sudden, like, then you read that little thing upstairs that says, yeah, in our ghost hunting experience, we found this like secret area and blah blah blah, and then I got like a little map that showed me where that was.
Right.
And then I went there and I was like, oh, I'm not going down there yet. And then I explored more. I thought maybe I get a weapon or something.
Of course.
Or like a flashlight at least, because what I did was I opened it up and I looked around the corner. It was those creepy stairs that went into like darkness. I was like, nope.
Yeah, I went down. I got the basement key, I unlocked the door, and I started heading down, and I made it right to the bottom of the stairwell, and I sweat a lot as it is already, but I was drenched at that point, like just like pits and my palms. Yeah, you know, I'm just saying, like, but yeah, I was about myself anyway. And anyway, so I turned right around. I went back to the stairs, and I was hoping like that there was a different way, or I'd find a flashlight or something. But eventually, I put my big boy pants on, and I headed down and met my destiny, which was nothing. It felt like almost like Home Alone. You know, when in the movie Home Alone, where like Kevin goes down in the basement and then he keeps seeing the furnace.
Shut up.
What?
No, like, you know, that's what he says to the furnace, and then it goes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
It's not so bad. Sorry, I just watched that movie.
That's okay. It's Christmas time.
You know, when finally he balls up, and then he looks at the furnace, he goes, "Shut up!"
Right. Yeah, man. He's a man now. He's a man
now. Yeah, he is.
So I unfortunately I didn't feel that way. I felt awful, but I was so scared, and I don't know. Like I said, even like I go into a new room, and the first thing I look for is a light switch or like a lamp or something, because I was scared. Or like, you know, when you found like those tapes of like the girl she's singing with her band.
Yeah.
I'd put those on and I'd turn up the volume loud, so I wouldn't be like. It was almost as if I was like in my parents' house back in the day, and I was scared. And I'd turn the TVs on and I would run to like the next room or whatever. It gave me that feeling of being like a really helpless youth, which you kind of are.
Right. Yeah. The part that really established the fear was when you go to the room with the TV on. It's like shh or whatever. It's just like white noise.
Okay.
And they've got that little fort.
Yeah.
Did you find the little thing in the fort?
Yeah, totally.
That's the room. That's where I kind of started getting like that was the first little snippet of or little piece of note, whatever the fuck it was, that showed like that they were investigating like ghosts. So I thought for sure it was going to be this cute little story about two friends hunting ghosts, and then it would just take a wrong turn.
Right. Yeah. No. Me too. Absolutely.
But then. One thing I really want to talk about, and I think I saved it for this too, is what did you predict the ending was going to be? I
thought you'd find the girl in the attic, like suicide.
Yes, okay. I thought that was such an obvious thing, and I kind of got upset because I was like, oh man, she's going to be dead up there. Like I was actually kind of scared.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed that they didn't kill her because,
me too.
And I'm really happy that it was so like suggested in all the material and the way they developed the lesbian lady.
Right, totally. I think that's grown up. That's such like a step forward for I feel like our
and
industry,
especially in the '90s too. You know, when that was a lot less socially acceptable to be a homosexual. I thought for sure it was going to be suicide for that lady. It was such a different type of triumphant ending.
Yeah, which totally. I 100% agree. Like I felt so scared when you see like that red trap door, like there's like a red light bulb shining on it, and I was like, that signifies her death.
And when it says like when the light's red, like don't come up.
Yeah,
I was like, he's gonna be dead up there.
I know. I was sorry. Like we should have said spoilers ahead of time.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, like
spoiler alert. So we'll put it in the comments.
The last 5 minutes should not have been viewed by anyone.
The preceding footage.
But yeah, that was it. Really got to me. Like it didn't. I don't know. Like I said, usually like me and my girlfriend had this conversation where like the idea like she really like, enjoyed the movie Brave, and I really liked the movie Brave as well. But I felt that she could relate to it more because it's like the female like young girl having trouble with her sisters or her siblings and her mom and her dad. You know what I mean? That's what the core of the story happens to be.
Right.
And as a male, I couldn't relate to that as well as she could. I didn't feel, and I felt the same thing. I think like the story is very, very powerful and very, very well. But I think if I'd love to watch like my girlfriend or a female like play through this game to see like their reaction, the way they interpreted. I don't know, like that sibling life. I know like you have a brother, and I don't have any siblings, so again, there's a frame of reference I can't quite understand. But like you said, like the ending was very, very powerful. Nonetheless, I was very instead of being like very like horrified, it was more like uplifting, like,
Right,
like
yeah.
a triumph, right? And I totally agree. I think that was brilliant.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's worth noting too, and that's kind of the really cool thing about indie games. I don't think any AAA game would allow anyone to make like a mid '90s setting,
Right.
like especially the whole vibe of like the music, like like when I was in high school, early high school, or like late grade school, I listened to like a lot of punk rock, and like '90s had like such a really cool punk movement that you kind of forget about. Like if you're our age, we're pretty old.
Nickelback's not punk.
That's true.
I remember you listening to "This Is How You Remind Me."
When?
I remember
Oh,
that.
in the 90s?
I remember you listening to that.
Oh, at camp.
At camp, I remember. You're like, don't come up here unless if the light's on. And I was like, what's Zach doing up there?
Listening to Nickelback.
He's listening to Nickelback. I think he's developing photos.
But yeah, I thought that was really cool. I think they did that really well. You could tell they're in like our age pocket.
Oh, yeah.
which was fun. I thought it was a fun thing. They captured it well.
All right, so this is our picks for 2013. I guess I should have said this off the top, but unfortunately, we don't get a chance to play everything that we would like. There's one, especially like I was talking to you earlier about the new Zelda for 3DS. Neither of us own
Right.
a 3DS. It'd be nice to
We're huge
play
Zelda
everything.
fans.
Yeah, and it would be really great to play everything. I think that would be awesome. But I mean, we only have so much time and what have you.
Yeah,
So,
we're not saying like these are the best games of 2013. We're saying these are the top 3 games that we enjoyed that we played all the way through.
yeah, totally. All right. So with that being said, Zach, give me your number 2.
My number 2, based on my experience, like I said, I didn't play a lot of new releases. I played a lot of older games in 2013, but one of the ones that was released 2013 was Splinter Cell Blacklist, and that was more or less like the experience I had online, like doing the co-op shit and then the online, like we played that game for like a solid month and a half. We had a ton of fun with it. I definitely got my money's worth out of that one. And we played with Al and Cabby, and that was really, really fun.
Right? No, absolutely. A respectable choice. I figured for sure you were going to pick GTA 5.
Right.
The amount of I don't know what you've done and what you've explained to me that,
Right.
when you first played GTA 5, I thought for sure that would be your.
Yeah, it's pretty tight. I wanted to choose one of the ones
Like
that I had
it's a
a lot
tight
of fun,
race,
but
or
yeah,
it's
a tight race.
Like GTA 5 is.
It's
tight.
It's sick. Yeah, GTA 5 is extremely close second, like especially because of the experience and having fun. Like, oh man, yeah. Well, I think we're gonna do a podcast on that one with our main man Cabby and Jamie. So our main men. So we'll go into that. We had a lot of fun with it, especially online.
Sure. Well, let's jump into the heart of it. Let's look at our top. Oh boy. Nice. Oh man, when you put a suit on, Jesus.
I've been going to the club.
Whew. Try to shake that off. There we go. So our big one for the year 2013, Game of the Year watch. Go ahead, Zachary.
Mine was The Last of Us for Sony PlayStation's 3.
Holy, that's a lot of S's.
Yes.
Yeah, no, mine too. That's why I assumed we kind of discussed this a little bit beforehand. I feel it pushes. We did a whole podcast on The Last of Us, but like just to kind of reiterate, I think that game pushes the medium so far forward in relation to telling like an adult tale, right?
Absolutely.
I wish it got as much, say, playtime from. I guess the masses as say like a Grand Theft Auto 5.
Right.
I actually don't. The game I don't think is that appealing to everyone. Like, it can get frustrating. It can get hard. But it's incredible. It moved me like no other game has for a long time.
Yeah, me too. I would even say, like, go as far as like objectively and subjectively. It really spoke to me. There's a lot of elements in that game that I would have loved to see in a movie. Like some of my favorite movies are not too far off from the type of drama that you're able to experience in The Last of Us, but also like objectively, everything just seems so well done. Like, you could just. It seemed like they had a game company, and like 100% of their crew was like really passionate and behind the product. Like,
Right.
I felt like everything about that game was passionately done. Just like overall amazing, really, really cool story.
Absolutely. No, I again, even right down to like the multiplayer. We talked about the multiplayer
Right.
in depth, and and it was incredible. I had very low expectations. It was like 2 modes, and it kind of looked like a team deathmatch kind of thing. And I felt that might cheapen the single player experience I had of like how generic and boring it was going to be. But the idea of that when we played like I forget what it's called now, but you only have the 1 life, and it was basically I don't remember what the mode's called, but anyway.
Right.
How much fear I had.
Right. Survival.
Yeah. Wow.
Played a lot of Lou online.
I know, buddy. Is that what we're calling him?
And Lou.
Excellent. Okay. There's a T in there.
Some people call it T-Lou.
You have been going to the club. Yeah, totally. So that is our pick for 2013 is The Last of Us. Congratulations, Naughty Dog. Your award is in the mail. It should be coming soon. This is like our pick, so like it would be like branded as variable, but I'd like to propose a change. I think in the feedback in the comments, we're thinking about changing it to Maddie and the Jets.
Maddie and the Jets.
Yeah.
What the podcast name or the video podcast name or
just everything we do now.
Everything we do.
Yeah, so it's going to be.
We start a band. It's Maddie and the Jets. We start a small company.
Maddie
a small business firm. Maddie and the Jets. Start a family.
You'll thank me in 2017 when we have little jets running around.
Cool. I like it.
Cool. So anyway, thanks for listening and for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and to like the video at the bottom. It's right below. And we'll see you in 2014.
But we're already in 2014.